All right, let's start over. So last week, I did my regular video and my YouTube video, and I had said on there that we would still be live streaming this week on YouTube, which was 100% my plan. CJ and I got together, we were talking on Hangouts like we always do beforehand. We get together, we kind of catch up, we talk about what's been going on this week so that we're not just like bitching in our stream. Well, I had spent earlier in the day trying to get my phone to be my camera for my computer, because the camera on my computer, it's like, I don't know, like a 5 megapixel camera. Camera on my phone is like HD and all that jazz. So I was trying to get that hooked up, it would not work. So after I figured out that I couldn't use my phone as my camera to have better film, I just decided, okay, then I'll just use my computer. Which does involve me like moving my computer because it sits up on this table. See, it sits up on a table here that raises it. Well, the camera is at the top of the top of the computer, so if it's sitting on the table and I film, you get from like here up on me. Not exactly what we're looking for. I moved everything off my desk and fixed it all and made it work, and got ready to go. She ran off to walk the dog before we started filming, so I was like, you know, turn off your camera, I'm gonna go ahead and start broadcasting and kind of set us up and get us moving, because we were already running late because of the other issue I was having with my phone. So I go and I hit broadcast, or I hit the off-air button, which is usually will just flip me into broadcast, because there was no broadcast button at the bottom. So I thought, well, maybe with the changes with YouTube, maybe I just hit this on-air, off-air button and that'll do it. Nothing happened. I moved out of the Hangout, went back into the Hangout, nothing happened. Went back in, back out, over and over again. Had my husband come over and look at it. He couldn't figure out what was going on. Then we went back into YouTube, and it looks like I had to have one of the, a program for it to go through to stream into YouTube, which is how I stream Twitch. However, for Twitch I use OBS. And of course, YouTube doesn't support OBS. So I had tried like to use OBS to stream my Hangout chat window as the same way that I would stream it onto YouTube, and then just stream it into YouTube that way. Well, of course, OBS isn't supported. So much so that when I hook up Hangouts into OBS, the whole screen is black. So I can't do anything with it. So in order to make up for that, I am going to do a different video today, and I'll still try to do my video tomorrow. I plan on doing my video tomorrow. As of today, it's going to be a super disappointing video. So hopefully I can fix that, and then tomorrow's video can be less disappointing. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an unboxing of my horror block. Full disclosure, I did open this at my mom's house because my mom likes to see what's in it. And the other thing is that they were having some problems with their shirt order this month, and they ended up sending it out with a duplicate shirt. So I wanted to see what duplicate I got. So I do know the answer to that question. I didn't actually look too closely at anything. So I know basically what's in here, but I haven't really looked at it. So, you know, and I know a lot of people unbox stuff that they've opened, but I'm not a liar, so I literally can't pretend I haven't opened it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll put the link to NerdBlock down below. They're the company that sends these out. They are Canadian, so the shipping to America is a little bit steep. So I think the total that I pay is somewhere between $35 and $40 for it. But I fucking love this box. So a lot of these things, these autographs are from it. Spaceballs came from CJ. The Dark Tower one that's up here, this Dark Tower one actually came from my NerdBlock when I was still getting NerdBlock, because I started getting NerdBlock because Weird Al did a box, and my obsession with Weird Al knows no bounds. So then also I had gotten that pennant there, the Camp Crystal Lake pennant, and my my Camp Crystal Lake hat have also come out of there. So every month there's something absolutely love. Sometimes there's things I'm not terribly interested in, something I've never heard of or whatever. I pass those things along to other people who are interested, except for the thing from the Leprechaun movie. I'm terrified of the Leprechaun. I put it somewhere. I don't even know where I put it. I am really afraid of the Leprechaun. I don't even know how to explain it. And this is May's box. It was super late because of the shirt delay, which is why they then sent us like a duplicate shirt. And we're supposed to get a special delivery of the other shirt. I'm hoping maybe it'll just come in my June box. I feel silly having them ship something from Canada to me when they're going to ship something else from Canada to me. And there's always like a little bit of extra space and the shirt just rolls up or whatever. So, and like I said, here's the little thing telling me that like, uh-oh, we had a problem with shirts. And so you're getting like a shirt you might already have. So yeah. That's from the Nerd Block team. They're always wonderful. I actually had something come in broken. They were like, oh, can you send us a picture of it? I sent them a picture and they were like, you'll get it within 2 weeks. And I got it like 6 days later. They're very good. No questions asked. You know, they just wanted to make sure that they saw that it was broken. It was a ceramic mug. And I was pretty upset about it. And I don't even like the show that the mug was about, but it was a really neat mug. So yeah. But the shirt I got, and you may have seen this on my stream or on my page before, it's a Ouija shirt for the movie. I really do like the shirt. I just already have one, so I'm going to give this one to Travis. So we can be twinsies. It'll be adorable. We will specifically not ever wear them on the same day. So that's good. So that's number one. Number one is this Ouija shirt, which is the replacement, temporary replacement for the other shirts. All right. Number two, an umbrella. Let's see what we've got here. It's a nice silver umbrella. Looks like it's upside down, which is neat. I'm doing the thing you're not supposed to do. Why is it like that? I don't feel like that's how it was supposed to be. Why did it do that? I think they're supposed to flip out, aren't they? There we go. I don't know why it was doing it upside down. So here's the umbrella. The underside is silver. So for some reason it flipped wrong when I did it originally, but it's a Carrie umbrella. As I've mentioned before, I'm a huge, humongous Stephen King fan. But, you know, this is probably more related to a movie just because it's the Horror Block and a lot of their stuff is movie-based. But it's a nice umbrella, and it doesn't smell as gross as a new umbrella sometimes will. So, so yeah, nice umbrella. I do not actually own an umbrella. My husband owns umbrellas. My stepdaughter owns umbrellas, but I'm not terribly inclined to bother with one. It's not like I walk anywhere. I'm very much an American who hops in my car and goes and does things that way, because that's how we do things in America. So yeah, I got myself a nice Carrie umbrella. We've got a tube. A tube. Woo! It's a tube. Let's see. There's a picture in this tube. I honestly think I pulled it out, but I don't remember what the hell it was. Oh, yeah. See, very nice Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm going to have to flatten it before I can hang it because it's real hard and it's rolled. But yeah, I really, really like it. Nightmare on Elm Street is one of my favorite horror movies. I just think everybody has to sleep, so you can't get away from it. So I'm a really big fan. Every month there's a Rue Morgue magazine or a book. And the last few months there have been these books. I have all except for one of the books that have come out since I started getting the box. There was a shark book. And my nephew, who you can see on my other channel, is obsessed with sharks. He's one of my best friends. He's like 10 years old, but he is one of my favorite people on the planet. And because there was a book about sharks and he freaking loves sharks, I let him have that book. This is a heroines in horror book. So that's pretty nice. There's a lot in here. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be really neat. So, oh, there's a picture of the shark one that I'm not allowed to touch ever because Jacob loves it. So, Jacob's shark book. So yeah, so that came in here. The next thing is a comic. It's a Penny Dreadful comic. I've never actually seen the show or anything. The comic is beautiful though. I mean, it's a really well done, nice comic. So I don't know if this is something that you have to have some base of knowledge for. We'll have to see, but it's definitely a horror comic. And very, very nicely done. So I'm sure I'll check that out. It's a freezer pack. Keeping your food cold in like a lunch pail. I'm sure it would also work for, you know, I have bad knees, so I'm sure it'll work as an ice pack. But it's super cute. It's just blood. I just recently donated blood, and I'm supposed to find out what blood type I have at some point in the near future. I'm not sure what it is, but here's the little blood pack that you freeze. It says product is not microwave safe, do not ingest, so I'm not going to eat it. Rabbit in Red, which actually came with my box a while back. So here's the original book. I have not gotten to read it yet. I'm in the middle of my summer read of It, which is my favorite book. At some point, maybe I'll do a whole video about it and how I view it as a coming-of-age novel rather than a horror novel. It's a coming-of-age novel with horror elements. I had considered at one point that I was going to go on to get my master's in English, and if I was going to do that, I was going to write my thesis paper on why it is a coming-of-age novel, not a horror novel, and why people have pegged it wrong, basically. However, this book does look really interesting. I believe... No, it doesn't look as she did. I thought Sailor read this, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to ask her if she read it or not. And they are currently running errands and then going to see Wonder Woman. And since I don't really like superhero movies, I stayed home. But so this is the original book, which came in my box February, maybe? It's been a while. I've been a subscriber for about a year now. So, and then here's a digital download of Burn the Rabbit, which is the sequel to this book. And it's a signed card. You can see his little signature there. It's Joe Chianakis. I hope I'm not slaughtering that quite as badly as I think I am, but I bet I am. So if you're interested at all, please go over there, check it out. Obviously, I don't know this author personally. I don't know anything about him, but I am always looking to support authors who you may not know. And if you're getting it through Smashwords, my guess is you're probably not going to just go pick this up at any bookstore. But I will definitely give you guys an update of this book when it does actually, when I do actually read it. However, I think I was going to try, after I finish it, to read... I have a really hard time keeping track of people's names. So if I forget your first and last name as a other writer, please be patient with me. It is not on purpose. It's just that I'm really bad with names. I will frequently remember your first name, almost never your last name. Unless if your last name is Brown or Smith, I might remember them. But if it's anything interesting, I will, first of all, probably not remember it. But second of all, even if I do remember it, I will second guess myself and convince myself I don't know the name. So if you were to think that I forgot your name, that is possible. But it's also that I have that anxiety thing that I've talked about in other videos. And when I get anxious, I start to second guess everything I say. So the next thing I'm going to read is Amy Tasukada, who is also an author tuber. I'll put a link to her page down below too, or a card, one or the other. I'll figure it out when I do the video. But I'm reading her, I believe it's her second book in her series, but she said it does function as a standalone. Unfortunately, my finances are kind of a little tense right now. So purchasing indie books right now is not a thing I can do. I would love to start doing some more of that. And I would be happy to do reviews, especially like Goodreads reviews. I love Goodreads. So if you're interested in me reviewing your book, please leave a comment below. If you'd like me to buy it to review it, that's fine too. You just have to be a little more patient because I do have, I have quite a backlog of books that I'm trying to catch up on, but I also have financial issues considering the fact that like I work a full-time job, but my husband works freelance. So sometimes we have a month where we make twice as much as usual. Sometimes we have a month where we make half as much as usual. The last 2 months have been pretty tight. He does have some bigger projects coming up, so it's possible that my book buying will increase in the near future, and I would love for that to be a thing, but I also don't want to make promises that I'm going to go purchasing a bunch of indie books that I don't have the money for. But absolutely, leave me a link, email me a link. I'll have links to all my social media and everything. Please send me links to your books. I would love to read them. I am most attracted to horror, but that does not mean I won't read something else. I do have a hard time with sexual assault themes. So while I will read things that have sexual assault themes, I do sometimes have a harder time getting through them because it's hard for me to process. So just be aware that if there are sexual assault themes, it's not that I won't read it, but it might take me a little longer to actually like trudge through it because it hurts my heart. And the last thing that's in the box, which is in every box, is the Nerd Block little handy dandy tool thing, which opens with a message from someone who she says she's the lead buyer for Horror Block. I don't know if she always does the message in there. Honestly, I don't usually read it. I feel pretty bad about that now that I know that that's there. I don't think I ever noticed that that was there, so. Here's a ranking of the Carrie's prom scenes. It puts the 1976 one at #1. I don't know that I agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of the Sissy Spacek movie. To be fair, I've never seen The Rage Carrie 2, and I've never seen the musical, but I have heard some of the music from the musical, and it's beautiful. Such a good job. So, hopefully I will get to see the musical at some point. In the middle of it, there's a description of all of the items I received in the box. It does look like... Oh! Here's the shirt I'm supposed to get. I'm hoping that this does show up. There's the shirt I'm supposed to get in the description. I am shaky. I don't have a problem. I'm just stupid. Alright. So there's the shirt I'm supposed to get. I can't wait till that shows up. It's super neat. I like it. It's Frog Brothers shirt. I'm a fan of The Lost Boys. It's not my favorite movie ever, but I really like it. There's a little thing on haunted movie houses they'd like to visit. Another thing on that video game. An article on Marvel. And like I said, I'm not a huge fan of superhero movies. Mostly just because I've just gotten tired. But then the last page is very much a Nerd Block page. And I'm going to have to show my nephew this. He might not agree with it. I have Jacob's brother Joe, who is 1 year older than him, is the biggest fan of Sonic I've ever known in my life. There used to be, oh yeah, there still is. There's a picture up here. You see that? Next to the box, there's a picture of Sonic, who is apparently gone Super Saiyan, I think. He drew that several years ago. But it's one of my favorite pictures anyone's ever drawn me. So, but there's a best and worst Sonic games thing, which I will have to show to Joseph so that he can see. And I bet you he probably won't agree with them. So yeah, that's the whole horror box. I don't know if you wanted to see the inside. This is just kind of the general inside to the horror box. I think that they're pretty neat. A lot of times these boxes end up on my floor full of catnip for my little crazies to jump in and out of and do crazy things. So that's pretty exciting. I would bet you my next one's going to be here within the next 3 weeks. and possibly my shirt. I'm hoping my shirt comes sooner rather than later, now that I know what it is, and I'm a little jealous that I don't have it yet. That's my horror box, my horror block for this month. I will possibly try to keep doing unboxings. I'll see how you guys like this. I am a huge horror fan, so it's probably going to stay as my horror block unless like Weird Al curates a different box or something again, or someone I'm like really into. Like if a Twin Peaks box comes out, I'm switching to whatever group that is. If there is like a Twin Peaks monthly box, I would consider switching boxes. So if you've heard of one, let me know. I'm pretty obsessed. So... but I think that does that for today. Thank you for joining me for my unboxing. I hope you thought that the things that I got inside were pretty neat. I'm a really big fan of this umbrella and this picture. So those will be put to some use. Not sure what I'm going to do with the Penny Dreadful comic. And the Women with Guts will go back on my shelf with all my other ones. Minus the shark one that I'm not allowed to keep. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow, and good reading. Bye. I need a light. That's the problem. Look, something's off here. All right. Okay, first warning, there's a lawnmower going. It's the first day that hasn't been disgustingly hot in quite some time, so my neighborhood is full of lawnmowers. Not much I can do about it. Second thing, yesterday, my live stream, something changed with YouTube. Still don't like my lighting. Hold on.